Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Beulah Thomas. In today's video, I'm going to share some practical tips on how you can support a NICU parent. So I'm going to share some do's and also some very important things that you should not do while you're supporting a NICU parent. The reason why I chose this as the topic for this week's video is because my husband and I are actually ex-NICU parents. Our 5-year-old arrived early, and just through going through that NICU experience has definitely shaped the way we live today. It has shaped our faith and the way we help and support people as well. When our son was just a few months old, we also began a charity called BraveHearts here in Wellington, New Zealand. And since Mother's Day of 2017, we have been dropping off care bags to Wellington Hospital NICU. So NICU stands for Neonatal Intensive Care Unit, and also the SCBU unit at Lower Hutt Hospital. So we've been covering both of the hospitals since Mother's Day 2017, and such a huge privilege to be able to drop off these bags every few weeks to support these parents. And I'm so grateful that we have this opportunity to support these parents in a really challenging time. Before I get into how you can support a NICU parent, I also wanted to share about what we're doing today. Today is a beautiful Saturday. Thankful that it's not raining today. It's been raining like crazy here in Wellington. And so today is our packing day, and I'm gonna have a few people arrive shortly. And as you can see in the back, there's a couple of tables and I've got products on it. So if you are here in Wellington, or if you live here in New Zealand and want to support what we do, I'll make sure I put all of the details on the screen and also in the description box, so you can check out our website, check out our Give a Little page and all of that. All right, now let's go have a quick close-up of the table. All of our care packages have got tea, coffee, chocolate for sure, some toiletries, some other personal products. Sometimes we even add in stationery, and we also get donations, so it really varies, but this is just the basic of what we put in here. And here is just a quick little footage of our packing day. Here are some ideas of how you can support a NICU family member or NICU friend. The most important thing to keep in mind is that nobody plans or prepares for a NICU experience when they are pregnant. It happens suddenly, it happens when you least expect it. Often these babies are born through cesarean, which means that the mom is left to not just take care of this baby, but also needs to heal and take care of herself, which is really overwhelming sometimes, and especially if they're alone, it can be a really hard and lonely journey. You can offer your help in a few ways. The first thing and most obvious is food. You can provide them with freezer meals. You can provide them meals on a weekly basis or every few days. If they have young children, it's always nice to drop off some kid-friendly meals or kid-friendly snacks just to help those parents out. The one thing I really appreciated during our NICU journey was when a friend from church dropped off some baking. That really helped, because I didn't have a lot of time to focus on me because I was really busy pumping every few hours and spending my time in NICU. So I didn't have a lot of time to meal plan. And so when she dropped off some muffins, it really helped. It meant that for my morning tea and my afternoon tea for the next few days, I was sorted. And so dropping off like healthy snacks is really helpful, or even some pre-made sandwiches or some lunches that the mom or the dad can take into the unit will be really appreciated. Instead of texting them and asking them, what are they currently craving or what is their favorite food, because let me tell you, that is not where their brain is at. Their brain is in NICU. They're physically and mentally exhausted. So drop off some really healthy, comforting food, and let me tell you, they're going to really appreciate your help at that time. If the family has older children, offer to take care of that child over the weekend, maybe organize a play date or a sleepover. Take the child off their hands for a few hours just so they can maybe even rest or focus on just what they need to do at that time. If the child is at school or preschool, offer to pick up or drop off, maybe take them out for a special treat, to celebrate them. I do remember when we were going through our NICU experience, our oldest was 4.5 years old. My mom was here, so it was quite helpful, but just to imagine if we didn't have that extra help, we definitely would have had a really hard time. Another way you can support is financially. Here in New Zealand, we didn't have to pay any money to have our child in the NICU. I know in other countries you have to pay a daily fee or you're charged when you are discharged. So depending on your friend's situation, if they're currently having to pay to keep their baby at NICU, or if they're having everyday transportation costs, so whether it's public transport or even putting fuel into their own car, sometimes dropping off a little voucher will really help cover that burden. That's an idea through which you can support. You can also do their grocery shop for that week. That will definitely help any family. If there's a cafe by the hospital or in the hospital, grab a few vouchers from there so they can grab a coffee and a muffin or breakfast or something like that. So just buy a few of those vouchers and then just leave it in their mailbox or something. And finally, offer to help around the house. And here are a few ways in which you can do. If you're really close to a friend, you can even grab their house keys and spend a few hours and clean their home. I know a lot of people may not be comfortable with that. If your friend is not comfortable, you can pay for a cleaner to go into their house and clean up their house once a week or once a fortnight. Another way is to go into their house and, sort out their kitchen, cook up a few meals, meal prep for them, stock up their fridge and freezer, and you can walk away. That's a great way you can help a NICU family. Now that we've gone through the things that we need to do and we need to keep in mind, there are a couple of things that we also need to keep in mind to not do. The first thing is, when your friend tells you that their baby has arrived early, don't text them continuously, don't expect replies to the text, and don't get offended if they don't text for days. Don't get offended if they disappear on you, because it's a really stressful journey. Having been through the NICU experience, I can tell you that my brain was racing at 1,000 miles per hour, because you don't know what's coming up, especially in the early days. You go and see your baby. Your baby is in an incubator. There's lots of wires. There's lots of beeping noises. You just don't know how to focus. And so it's really hard to reply back to every single text. Often the text can be really loaded as well, and so many questions about when are you going to leave the hospital, when can I come and see the baby, and all those questions is really hard to answer because things change every single day when you're at NICU. So don't get offended if your friends go really silent on you. Don't just ignore them. Give them the space that they need. Sometimes parents might grieve, sometimes parents might be really nervous, they might be even happy, and they might just need their space as a family to get through those first few days or even weeks. They might be silent, but don't get offended if you don't get a reply or a response. Another thing to keep in mind is to never ask them, when is the baby coming home? You'll never know at day one. Sometimes you'll never know until the day that you're actually leaving. And that's what happened to us. I remember waking up one day at the hospital and then they just said, you know what? Today might be the day you're going, but they were not really sure about it. But then they came back about an hour later and said, well, you need to pack up because it's time to leave the hospital. So it just really happens at that moment, and you can never predict the day or the time or the hour when you're going to leave. So never ask the parent, when is baby coming home, or never ask for a status of what's going on in NICU, because sometimes parents like to keep certain details private, and we need to respect that as well. And if you have been a NICU parent yourself, never compare your experience with their experience. Every baby is different. The gestation is different. The way babies, progress or don't progress is completely different. So we can never compare our stories. So don't get into too much of detail. Don't ask them, but make sure you're constantly supporting them. That's what parents need, whether it's a NICU parent or a newborn parent. All they need to know is that, I've got a village around me that's supporting me to get me through this journey. The one thing that we've learned through our NICU journey, which was hard and challenging, but we've got through it. And of course, our son is 5 and we celebrate him every single day. I'm so grateful for life. Every time I look at him, he is our little miracle, and I'm so grateful for that. The one thing that I've learned is that, every time a friend texts us or we find out from someone in our church community or our local community has had their baby early, I make sure when I text them, I don't just congratulate them, but I also encourage them. And I remind them of who they are. I remind them that they are strong, that they're brave, that they've got this, and I'm standing with them through this journey. So if you've got a friend who has a baby at NICU at the moment and you don't know what to do, let them know that you are standing with them. I think that will mean the world to them. So I really hope, these tips of what you should do and what you shouldn't do has helped you. I really hope you enjoyed this week's video. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to give this video a like. And if you have other tips and suggestions on how we can better support NICU parents, don't forget to leave that down below in the comment section below, because I know I would love to read that, and it'll definitely help our other viewers too. Now, if you haven't done it yet and you have been enjoying my content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn your notifications on. I post a new video every single Wednesday, and you definitely don't want to miss next week's one. All right, guys, I look forward to seeing you next week with a brand new video. Until then, take care. Goodbye.